In this video, join me as I explore the largest city in the Canadian Maritimes and the capital of the province of Nova Scotia, where centuries-old historic forts overlook a stunning harbour that had once served as the first point of entry for over 1 million immigrants. This is a city of contrasts, where echoes of Canada's past collide with the vibrant modernity of a city buzzing with East Coast energy. Welcome to Halifax, Nova Scotia. After an early morning flight from St. John's, Newfoundland, I arrived safely on the ground at Halifax Stanfield International Airport, then caught Regional Express Bus 320 for the 37-kilometer ride downtown. My first stop in the city would be the Halifax Citadel National Historic Site, located atop towering Citadel Hill. First built in 1759 by the British military as a basic wooden guardhouse, the current citadel is the fourth fort to be built atop the hill, completed in 1856. The intimidating structure almost guaranteed the fact that no foreign power ever dared attack the city of Halifax. Since 1953, the Citadel has served as one of Canada's most prominent historical landmarks, inviting people from around the world.
There is the Bell Tower. And that is a very famous Halifax landmark. You'll see it on postcards. Takes about 2 hours to see the entire Citadel. So some quick history here about the Citadel. It was once the headquarters for a massive array of coastal defenses that made Halifax one of the most heavily defended ports in North America. And on this panel you can see an old view, 1883 versus 2010. So you can see how it's changed. The old meets the new right here. All right, I've made it inside the Citadel. This would have been kind of center of command right here. The watchtower is keeping a close eye on all surroundings over here. So got some old cannons on display, but it is a pretty outstanding piece of Canadian history here.
I continued my tour by exploring some of the Citadel's many period rooms, featuring a recreated officers' living quarters and the on-site schoolhouse, each featuring dozens of centuries-old artifacts. After, I paid a visit to the excellent Army Museum, which tells the story of Canada's role during the World Wars and other global conflicts. The museum also features an exhibit about the world's largest pre-atomic explosion, which was so powerful that the water in the harbor completely evaporated, with the inrushing sea causing a 60-foot tsunami that swept over the city of Halifax. Next, I checked out the recreation of the D-Day landing on the beaches of Normandy to get a sense of the obstacles that those advancing Allied troops faced as they stormed the beachhead to regain control of France from Nazi forces.
So you can see how huge these fortress walls are. And this is basically a moat between the outer fortress wall and the inner fortress wall. And some old cannons right here. Quite a few, actually. This reminds me a lot of the Prince of Wales Fort up in Churchill, Manitoba. Same general principle, same era, I would say, as well. And the cannon is ready to fire right there at Scotiabank. Be warned. All right, I'm a nerd. So we'll continue along this way. I'm gonna head out soon. Yeah, pretty well preserved 19th century fortress here. Halifax Citadel. All right, I cut it pretty close. I got about 5 minutes till the tour starts. But I've made it down here to the Alexander Keith's Nova Scotia Brewery. Alexander Keith's is one of the most popular beer brands in Canada, and it hails from Halifax. Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, filming is expressly forbidden on the tour, so I'm not able to share any visuals with you. However, I did find the tour to be worthwhile for anyone wanting to learn more about this iconic Nova Scotian brewery that has been in continuous operation for over 200 years. After learning about the history and legacy of the brand, the tour ends with a beer in the historic Stag's Head pub, located in the aging cavern of the brewery.
Kind of a fun tour. They end it with sea shanty singing, so not bad.
My next stop in Halifax was the Canadian Museum of Immigration at Pier 21, the former ocean liner terminal and immigration shed that operated from 1928 to 1971. It was here that over 1 million new Canadians arrived on the shores of North America, catching trains onward to their new homes across the country. Visiting here was very personal for me, as this was the very spot that my grandmother and mother arrived in Canada back in 1958 before catching their own train to settle in Alberta. The museum features several poignant exhibits that illustrate the journey of immigrants across the Atlantic aboard those historic ocean liners, their arrival and processing at Pier 21, and their boarding of trains at the adjacent rail station. It was surreal to see the weathered concrete at the entrance to the terminal, a testament to the millions of feet that stepped off those ships and onto Canadian soil. I thoroughly enjoyed my guided tour of the galleries, and I recommend the museum to anyone with an interest in Canadian history.
So this is Pier 21, the Canadian Museum of Immigration. Definitely want to check out some of my grandmother's history here arriving into Canada and learn a little bit about the importance of this pier. Gonna head inside. Look at these benches that people would have waited on. So my grandma was sorted right here as a new Canadian. So pretty amazing. I highly recommend that you stop in if you're in Halifax. Very interesting, especially if you have a family that did immigrate to Canada. It's really cool to see where everybody was processed on their way in from Europe, if that's where you came from. So pretty cool. And you can see here, this is what it would have looked like back in the day. So this room is just a recreation, a small recreation, but you can see the actual room was a lot larger, and plenty of people were being sorted every day. Here's a image of many of those new Canadians arriving and waiting to be sorted. So cool to see where my grandma actually arrived in Halifax. She always talked about landing in Halifax and taking the train to Edmonton. And it's so cool to see where she landed and where she was sorted. So I'm glad to have this opportunity today. All right, well, I've made it down here to the Halifax waterfront. There's quite a few people down here, a lot going on, it seems. And this is where they also do the harbor cruises and so forth, but that's all shut down for today at least. All right, well, I have made it down here to the Cable Wharf Restaurant, which looks absolutely amazing. I'm gonna go and check out this amazing seafood restaurant right on the harbor here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Really nice place so far, and they have an entire seafood dinner set planned for me tonight, so I'm definitely looking forward to tasting the bounty of Nova Scotian seafood here at the Cable Wharf Restaurant right on Halifax Harbour. You can see a beautiful view off the pier. Perfect maritime dining experience for my visit here to Halifax. So thank you so much to the Cable Wharf Restaurant for inviting me here and for curating this amazing meal for me. I do appreciate it. All right, my first course has arrived. These are the crab cakes, and they are served with a garlic remoulade, and he paired them with this delicious glass of Chardonnay. So bon appetit, everybody. This looks absolutely incredible. Nova Scotian crab cakes. Amazing. Next up are the pan-seared Digby scallops from here in Nova Scotia, served with a peaches and cream corn puree, along with roasted king oyster mushrooms and fried capers. So it looks absolutely delicious. 5 beautiful large scallops in total, served alongside a glass of Chardonnay. So absolutely amazing. I really love scallops, so I'm so excited to try this. It's going down the hatch. Whoa. Wow. Those are so delicate. They're so tender. The scallops are cooked to perfection, pan-fried, lightly browned on one side, so it has a little bit of nuttiness to it. But honestly, that is a scallop. And my goodness, they know how to do seafood here. So if you're in the mood for great seafood here in Halifax and you don't know where to turn, head on down to the Cable Wharf because they know what they're doing. Trust me. And dessert has arrived, and this is the pumpkin spice cheesecake with dulce de leche and maple leaf tuile. Really, really, really good dessert. Wow. It's just, I laugh because it's just amazing how well this restaurant has performed in terms of every dish exceeding my expectations. So by far, this is the best meal I've had in months, years. Honestly, everything that this place touches turns to gold. It is absolutely incredible.
With my belly full, it was time to head back to my room at the Homewood Suites by Hilton, ending this one-day visit to Nova Scotia's capital. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified when new episodes are posted. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.